Good morning, NAML. My name is Jack Turner. I'm the San Diego AFCEA chapter president. You've heard me talk about some of the initiatives for the chapter already. Just to reiterate those, the fundamental is we're taking the chapter to be a more technical organization. The second one is we're working to provide journeyman and continuing education training in association with our symposiums and our luncheons events like this. The third is we're affiliating our scholarship programs, our STEM scholarships, so that they're more meaningful to the community, meaning NAVWAR, the industry partners that serve NAVWAR. If somebody wants one of our scholarships, they're going to have some affiliation to the community. So they might be Marv's son or Marv's daughter. Or they might be, and I'm going to introduce Marv and Justin here in a second. They might work at my little company, Excite. They might work at Centec, Justin's company. They might work at Deloitte. They might work at Airpac. They might be on a ship. They have to have some affiliation to the community we're trying to serve. And that's just to move away from very good students that we provided scholarships in the past, but they simply didn't have this affiliation. We're gonna move that because we're raising money from this population. We should feed it back into this population. The fourth one is a educational outreach. We'll be providing outreach to the underserved community in San Diego, specifically schools that are serving the homeless children. They scoop them up, provide a meal, get them ready to go to school, provide a good day of school for them, and then some after school programs. And then, unfortunately, they have to go back to their environment. But what we're going to provide is some sessions where we show these kids what an engineering or a science occupation might look like, maybe provide some mentoring along the way. And work toward, helping these kids come out of the situation they're in. The last one, and what we're going to speak about today, is the communities of interest within the chapter. Justin, Marv, would you go ahead and start and introduce yourself to the group?
Sure. I guess as the old guy, I'll go first. Marv Langston, former naval officer, long time ago, also served in the government on the Secretariat side of the DoD and the Navy, was the Navy's first CIO back when it was forced on the Navy or the DoD system by the Klinger-Cohen Act, and was the deputy CIO for DoD during the Y2K day, and that's the last time I served officially in the federal government. Since then I've been involved in consulting system engineering work with mostly the command and control and ISR communities across the Navy Department.
Hey, Jack. Yeah, Justin Parker. Been with supporting the Navy now this is my 12th year now. Prior Air Force officer. And started off as a requirements engineer doing ISR work. It's also when I started following Marv Langston around to learn everything that I could from him. Moved up to being lead systems engineer on the C2 side of the house, on the contractor side, lead systems engineer. And then have been running operations across several divisions, doing engineering work on 700 series, 100 series, as well as in NAVAIR over the last few years as well. So look forward to helping out this community interest however I can.
All right, thanks to both of you. So the communities of interest, the basic concept is very simple. If you want to be part of the community of interest, there'll be some emails going out in constant contact, and it'll say, do you want to affiliate to the community of interest for systems engineering, cyber, digital engineering, intuitive application development, and there's one other one I slip in my mind in a moment. But the fundamental purpose of them is to provide a community of folks that think of themselves in that domain, and provide them some informal opportunities to do mentoring outside of their organization. What I find is that people get stuck in their thinking inside an organization. And they, especially, folks that are newer to the community or entry level, they would benefit, and I think the community would benefit from having relationships outside of their organization, outside of their customer base, that they can bounce ideas off of, everything from highly technical ideas to, hey, they asked me to charge for this. Is that right? And people can say yes and no, and oh my God, that's a real problem, or you're on the right track. So with that said, Marv, would you mind just commenting on the need you see in the community, and I know we've had conversations about the state of systems engineering in San Diego and our community. Could you just comment on that a little bit?
Sure, Jack. My background was actually as a young engineering duty officer working with the Aegis community, and ended up working directly for Admiral Wayne Meyer, the father of Aegis. And the Aegis community was built around system engineering that was stronger than any system engineering the naval ship community had seen prior to that. Because prior to that, the Aegis ships, what was happening is we were building weapon systems and command and control systems and bringing them to the shipyard and integrating them onto the ship at the shipyard. And we had a lot of failures, a lot of systems that didn't work very well. So Aegis was built out of the concept that you build the ship around the weapon system, and it's integrated from the beginning. So everything about Aegis was about system engineering, and every participant, whether they were from the laboratories or the contractor bases, were steeped in system engineering. In our own community here in the ISR and command and control and IT communities, because we tend to be more software oriented and much less hardware/software oriented as we see in weapon systems, we tend to not think of system engineering as the first thing we think about, and we tend to not do it nearly as well as we probably should do it. And there is new movements towards this SysML, model-based system engineering, which is also birthed out of hardware software engineering systems. And that's a good thing that we're moving in that direction, but we still need to think a lot harder about it and do a lot better job on it.
Yeah, on the systems engineering side of the house, one of the big benefits I see out of this group coming on is something that I would have loved to have when I first started out on NAVWAR. My knowledge of what NAVWAR was doing and what the capabilities were was basically zero. I just knew it was a big building that I drove by when I got to San Diego. So getting the opportunity to find out what they're about and who they are, and just having that open opportunity to get in there just from a novice perspective would have been incredibly valuable for something like me. And I know that we're missing out on some very talented engineering individuals just based on a lack of knowledge and a lack of ability to even approach the community. Further is what you said as well, the collaboration side of the house. We work really internally in my organization to do collaboration across different task orders, so we don't have that groupthink situation going on. If we could expand that collaboration to the community that also included government, contractor, military folks around to talk about what's happening in systems engineering and the new tools and technologies that are coming out and best practices, I think that would be incredibly valuable for San Diego and NAVWAR as a whole. So that's one of the things that really excites me about it, from a growing of the systems engineering capability here in San Diego.
Yeah, I had exactly the same experience, coming from the aviation community. I thought I wanted to be an airline pilot, and I suddenly just was aware that I didn't want to, and I took a job at NAVWAR, and I really didn't have a whole lot of a really good idea what they did. And having a community that I could have joined, it would have been invaluable. Saved a lot of time, and I would have been much more effective. Any comment on that, Marv? On from your perspective and the folks that you see coming into the community, and maybe the mid-level folks that you see coming up into leadership, giving them that kind of community?
No, I think it's an excellent idea what you're talking about, and I know in my own career I've been the beneficiary of having some of the best mentors that exist in the communities, and I've always valued those mentorship relationships. And I like your idea about not just trying to mentor within your own company or your own group of people, because you tend to be in an employer-employer relationship kind of situation, or you're closely connected to other folks in the organization. So if you have more breadth to it, I think it's both useful for the mentors and the mentees to get to know other people, learn what their knowledge or lack of knowledge is about things that you might know a lot about, and help them understand. And to your points, both of your points, that's a very big set of buildings there. You pass on Highway 5, and it's amazing that we have so many things going on with approximately, what, 12,000 people associated with this systems command. And you can't possibly know what all is going on in those buildings and what all that they're doing unless you have people that can help you understand more about it. Over.
Cool. Well, thanks to both of you for your discussion here and the work we've already done. I very much appreciate it, and I know that the community will. For the audience, again, the way one can affiliate with a community of interest is simply declaring it. If you're at a face-to-face event, which we will get to, hopefully very soon, you simply just come over and tap Justin on the shoulder. Say, I'd like to be part of this community. I'll probably ask you to respond to the email that's already been out about how to affiliate. There's nothing else to it. And then participate in our events. We're possibly going to try to have some, especially if we don't get back into the real world soon, some online things. But the more I looked at that, the more I thought how hard it was, and the more it looked like things are going to open up. So, I've kind of put that off. But regardless, there'll be some communication about that, and I look forward to everybody participating and getting a lot out of it. Remember, what you get you get a lot more out of things that you put something into, and this will definitely be one of those situations. So again, I'd like to thank our two. I feel like I'm a talk show host guests, and we are out of time, so we should wrap it up. Any last comments or? No?
Jack, I applaud what you're doing. I think your ideas for the president of this chapter are spot on. You need to do something different. This organization is important, but it gets overshadowed by the larger AFCEA organization from headquarters, which always does the big conference here every year. So I think what you're doing sounds like a good idea, and I applaud you for it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Cool. All right, we're going to sign off, and thanks again to NAML, and we'll be in touch.